All right, we are back. Myself, Kevin Lapka, with my boy Kellen Garanstein, and it's Justin Fields Film Room Part 2. We did Justin Fields Film Room Part 1. Y'all love that one. We did Darnell Mooney. Y'all like that one too, but we know what you guys are here for. You're here for the Fields content, man. The views explain it. So what are we giving you? We're giving you more Fields content. Justin Fields Part 2. We're going to go back to college tape. I know we might have some training camp videos in a little bit, but we're going to go back to his college tape. Kellen's going to break it down. We're going to talk about it. And Kellen, let's get right into it, man, because we're going to talk about this first clip. This first clip kind of relates to something we talked about last week with Darnell Mooney and the Yankee concept. So let's bring that up. Justin Fields at Indiana explaining here the Yankee concept. And before we get into this, for those who watched that last episode too, check it out if you haven't already. Darnell Mooney breakdown, great video. Explain to the average viewer here what the Yankee concept is, what it is designed for, and just the details of it so one can understand before they're watching this full clip.
Right. So, and I'll go into it a little bit more when I pull up the clip, but just to start off with, the Yankee concept is basically a shot play, right? Where you're trying to beat a defense that has one high safety. One man is coming underneath the safety. Another man is going over the top. That's probably as basic as I can put it. A lot of teams will run it off a play action. The Bears always do. They run it out of under center. They run it out of gun. They've done it both ways. But either way, one of the things that we love about it is Darnell Mooney basically perfected it. He caught the ball. We broke it down twice last week. One against the Packers, one against the Saints. And Justin Fields threw it in college as well. A lot of people in Ohio State, and what makes Justin Fields so different in past offenses with Urban Meyer, guys are just not run a lot of pro concepts. Guys are not running things under center. They're not taking snaps. They're not taking drops under center. Justin Fields is very different in the aspect that he was Ryan Day's quarterback, and Ryan Day's scheme is different than Urban Meyer's. They're going to have a lot more pro style concepts. So without further ado, I'm going to try and get into this clip. I'm going to show people. We're going to Indiana 2019. We'll get into some Indiana 2020 later. Obviously, people will discredit Justin Fields 2020, but like I said, we'll get to that later. So here we're looking at some 2019 tape. All right. And like I said, Chris Olave is going to be over here on the left side. And I think this is going to be Benjamin Victor over here to our right, his left. And like I said, the Yankee concept, he's off screen now, but let's count. Okay. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 defenders here. These two are your safeties. And I said it's a one high beater, but regardless, you're trying to get over the top. You can use it to beat two high safeties. Some teams do it like that. But regardless, we've got 9 guys in the box, which means both corners are on an island. They've got safety help to the inside. But this is why a run game is so important for a quarterback. And obviously Justin Fields had that in college, but this is why he's going to need it even more in the pros. This concept is going to be Olave coming over here on the post over the top and Victor underneath. Once again, poorly drawn, but you get the idea. So let this play. We get a play action from Justin Fields. There you see Benjamin Victor going underneath the safety. Chris Olave going right over the top for a touchdown. Fields delivers it perfect. Let it play one more time. See Victor, number 9, underneath, and Olave, the one on the catch. Now, the dream scenario, I'll talk about it a little bit, is Chris Olave to the Bears next year. I don't think he'll follow the second round. Bears will have a first round pick, obviously, but we'll see if it happens. But not much to break down. I mean, we already talked about Justin Fields' accuracy. We talked about his deep ball in episode 1. People know it. People love it. But this one is kind of different in the fact that I don't know if we saw him go under center and throw the ball to Olave in the corner of the end zone. The clip you were in against Rutgers in 2020 when you're in the stands. We saw that. This one's a little different. This one's going directly down the middle of the field. Obviously, the accuracy doesn't have to be as pinpoint because you're not fitting it in between two guys like the clip we showed against Rutgers. But regardless, this is 2019 Justin Fields. This is Justin Fields' third start, his first road start against Indiana. This is baby Justin Fields essentially, and hopefully a lot more to come of it. And Kevin, we've had some long episodes, so maybe we'll try and keep it shorter this time. But I don't really have much more to say on this one. I mean, like we're getting a quarterback that's operated under center. We're getting a quarterback that knows how to do play action. He's worked concepts that Matt Nagy loves, and finally, Matt Nagy is getting a quarterback that can really excel in what we're looking at.
You're right. We'll keep this one short, but one thing I did want to add to this too, you mentioned it. This is his third game in the 2019 season, and what it relates to now is that everyone's lauding about him in training camp picking up the playbook so quickly. I mean, the conversation with Mitch Trubisky last year was, he needs to master the playbook in year 3, and now it's Justin Fields in his first NFL training camp, understanding the concepts, understanding the magnetic offense. To see him understand the Yankee concept here in his third game in college, or at Ohio State rather, because he was at Georgia before that, it's impressive with that Ryan Day offense that's complex. So you're getting a talented player, a guy who can learn extremely quickly, which is, music to the ears of Bears fans who want to see him start week 1. So hopefully that's the case. But yeah, if you have nothing else to add, let's go to our next clip. Let's do you choose, Kellen. You choose that next one, my man.
Okay, let's go to Nebraska 2019 then. All right, so we're here in Nebraska 2019. And last time in the last clip, that was Justin Fields' first road start at Indiana. This is the first big time road start. Obviously, if you go back, watch this game, Ohio State kicked the hell out of Nebraska. It wasn't close, but regardless, this is his first big time start on the road. Guy said he was built for the big lights, big stage. Obviously, he showed it here. The concept doesn't really matter here because this is all about Justin Fields' athleticism as I let it play. You see it there, 1 tackle, 2 tackles, falling away, throws back to his left. That's a 30-yard dot. His receiver gets a shoulder in the end. You could argue he leaves him unprotected, but honestly, that's just a ridiculous play. And what I don't want Bears fans or any fans for that matter to think is the fact that because Zach Wilson was so natural at throwing off platform and everyone loved to, a lot of sensible people weren't going to be like, this guy is Mahomes. Obviously, that just doesn't make any sense. But because he made off platforms so common for him, it kind of took away from Justin Fields and Trey Lance's ability, for that matter, to their knack for throwing off platform. Justin Fields was like a big time baseball player in high school as well, played shortstop. All right, there's a lot of times when that will translate to a throw just like this, and this is just athleticism, right? Like this is him making a play. Right? Like I said, the concept doesn't matter. We don't need to see it from the wide view. This is all you need to see. Him making a play. In a little bit of context, I believe this was right before the half ended, and this could have put them in field goal range, but I think Ryan Day tried one more play and it ended up scoring. But in the NFL, I mean, you get Cairo Santos down to the 37-yard line right before halftime. He's got a shot to make that kick, right? Like it's about a 50-yarder. And everything I'm saying, like I'm trying to hype Fields up, and like every clip we've done in the past, we've had to like pause ourselves and kind of take a thing for the haters, right? Like people are gonna hate, oh, he's thrown across his body, he might be thrown into traffic, that's an accurate ball on a falling away throw, falling right, throwing left after he broke 2 tackles. Once again, I mean, we're gonna keep it short, we're gonna keep it sweet, and Justin Fields made this one look pretty sweet. But like I said, Zach Wilson was the darling of throwing off platform, but don't let that fool you, man. Justin Fields has got it in his arm, he's got it in his body, and that baseball background helps him in a lot of cases like this.
I love that you brought that up. I absolutely love that you brought that up because it's Patrick Mahomes, it's Tom Brady, it's Russell Wilson, it's Kyler Murray. What do all 4 of those guys and more have in common? They all played baseball, and I think Mahomes, I don't know if Mahomes got drafted in the MLB. I know Brady, Wilson, and Murray all got drafted to MLB teams. I don't know about Mahomes for sure, but they all play baseball, and it's just natural raw arm talent. Like, you know what I mean? And like you see it here, everybody who's watched baseball before, who's watched Javier Baez, Derek Jeter, Francisco Lindor, have seen this exact play, shortstop to first base. And this is one of those plays where if Patrick Mahomes makes this play, it's getting 30,000 likes on Twitter, and everybody's losing their freaking minds because it's Patrick Mahomes and it's all this. But you're gonna see some of these plays from Justin Fields. You're gonna see him start to get all that attention, all those likes on social media, and people going crazy because it's just that raw athleticism that is kind of the new era of quarterbacks now, right?
Yes. And today is August 2nd. We're recording this August 2nd. I don't know if you saw, Kevin, there's a play from training camp today where Justin Fields is falling left and kind of sidearms it. Chicago Audible put out a tweet that was like, it was kind of Mahomes-like, and that kind of worried me. I'm like, whoa, I love that, but let's pause it there. But I mean, you see the throw, he's falling left. He puts the ball in a different slot. I mean, it literally looks like a sidearm pitcher. So it's definitely there. He doesn't have to change his arm angle on this play. He throws it from his natural arm slot. He just does it falling away. But all that that athleticism, a baseball background can definitely help a quarterback. Like you said, I mean, Patrick Mahomes has a big baseball background. So does Kyler Murray. So does Tom Brady. So does Russell Wilson. Those are four of the top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL today. So and three of the top four probably. So if not three of the top three, but easy to say.
Easy to say. And Calvin, the one thing too I want to ask you is, everybody gets so worked up about mechanics, right? And a quarterback's arm angle and their arm talent. And then there's plays like this, and there's plays falling away where you throw the mechanics away, basically, right? You're flicking it. At some point, does that not really matter there? Like, do people get worked up about that? That is, the mechanics are broken? Because to me, that's more of an asset. If you can just have raw athleticism here, and even if you're throwing it awkwardly or sidearm, than it is to have just a perfect break, perfect mechanics. Like you'll see, that's kind of, I guess you say, like Tom Brady versus one of those guys like Mahomes. Does that really matter?
Players play, man. Players play.
Exactly.
Gamers game. And training, mechanics, all that comes with time, and some of it does translate to the game, but you've got to deliver the ball at the end of the day. And I kind of made this point about Trey Lance today. Is his motion is elongated because he brings the ball down to his hip, but he delivers the ball on time and accurately. And if any quarterback is doing that, what can I complain about? Patrick Mahomes, 99% of his throws are not great mechanics. He just does it. He makes the throw, no matter how it happens. He does it. And that's what we need. And obviously, not saying, once again, pumping the brakes, not saying Justin Fields is Patrick Mahomes, but you got to make the throw at the end of the day. No matter how you get it there, no matter if you keep your guys safe, you're good. Make the throw. That's all. Boom.
You got it. All right, let's go to the next one.
All right. Let's go to Michigan 2019, Kevin. Right. We're Ohio State guys, so I guess can we say that team up north on this podcast, or do we have to keep it
we can. Let's say that team up north.
Well, we're going to Ann Arbor to watch Justin Fields against that team up north in 2019. Obviously the game 2020 was canceled, but this one is a big one in my opinion, simply for the fact that it shows once again how patient Justin Fields can be. Does he want the big play at times? Absolutely. Who doesn't? But there are times when a lot of quarterbacks need to show that they can take what's happening underneath. So I'll let this play run. What's going on here is Ohio State has a smoke screen concept, and they're trying to run an act off of it, quote unquote, an action off of it, to where this outside receiver is Austin Mack, and he is going to run the smoke screen just like any receiver on this outside would. So he's the Z receiver going to run a smoke screen in here. Usually what happens is this receiver blocks here. This guy's got most dangerous man. And so Austin Mack is just going to be one-on-one out here. Sometimes the line will pull out, but that doesn't really matter in this case. But what's going to happen instead of that is Austin Mack's going to come here, and Ohio State's going to fake it. Benjamin Victor is going to stutter here and come to the outside. I'm sorry. He's going to come to the inside. KJ Hill is going to stutter here and go to the outside. And Justin Fields' read on this, most likely, what I think is he's going to read the middle field first. So if Benjamin Victor pops open and this safety doesn't follow him, he's going to deliver the ball right here. If that doesn't happen, he's going to KJ Hill on this little wheel route after the stutter. But what happens is Michigan's playing man coverage. The safety is going with Benjamin Victor immediately, and they do a good job of communicating this right here. So what does he do? He pumps, pressure's coming, dumps it down. Let your guy make a play in space. He's got one-on-one. He's got leverage already. Let him make a play. Austin Mack scores. All right, Austin Mack is in the NFL, I think, but he's not a dominant. He's not starting anywhere. I don't know if he's a special teams guy either. But regardless, get your guys the ball in space, make a play, find a way to get positive yards. Not going to force this ball to the outside, not going to force it up the middle. So his one read was taken here in the middle to Victor. His two read was taken, as Michigan does a really good job of switching. So what does he do? Comes down to number 3, real easy. 1, 2, 3, boom. He's not a one read quarterback. He's not this whole notion of he can't read defense is all nonsense. All right. What are we doing, Kevin? We're watching the tape. We're breaking them down. It's very clear to me that Justin Fields is not a one read quarterback. He gets knocked down, obviously. Pressure's coming from the left side that he can't see, stands in, delivers, touchdown, beats that team up north by 4 touchdowns. We love it.
Stands in and delivers. That's the part that I know. I mean, I just noticed so much more that you broke it down right here. But the part initially, if you watch this clip raw without breaking down the smokescreen concept and understanding the deeper aspect of the play, you're going to see him just stand in here and take a hit, and just the patience to do that. What will quarterbacks sometimes do, knowing that they have that blindside guy coming through? They might panic a little bit, right? Roll out. Let me get away. Let me get away. I'm not going to stand in here and take the hit. I feel like in the past we haven't seen Bears quarterbacks stand in and take hits very often. It's let me escape and let the play develop, and that's okay at times. That's what you should do at times. But for him to just stand in there, know he has to wait an extra second for Austin Mack to really get open underneath, but knowing in the back of his mind that might cost him a lick to the ground here. That's impressive, man, to stand in there and take the hit. And then he's a big dude too. And that's the thing you have to think about. Like, this is a strong bodied kid who can take these kind of hits. You know what I mean? Compare that to, the guy that you like to talk about on Twitter a lot, Zach Wilson, might not be your favorite guy from those Madden ratings and whatnot. I know you're upset about that throw power. But even a guy like Zach Wilson's a talented player, but is he as strong bodied as Justin Fields is? No, he's not. No. Justin Fields is more capable of taking these types of hits because the way his body is built.
Absolutely. And another thing about this game, this was after his knee kind of got buckled. I don't know if you remember that, but his knee got buckled, I think, late in the first half.
Yeah.
This was much later in the game. So that's why he's wearing that brace. I don't know. You can see that brace here on that left knee.
I see.
So he's playing through pain, gets hit on that left side. I'm not going to say like that's a big boy throw, because we've seen him make throws that are tougher. Obviously, it's just a dump off. And what we're highlighting here is the mental processing and the ability to not take the big play and to just let your guy have the ball and let him make a play in space. But yeah, I mean, Justin Fields is tough as hell. Like we've already highlighted that. He's tough as hell.
Yeah. I mean, you got this example, you got the Clemson example. I mean, how many more do you need? The guy's tough as shit. So,
yeah.
Good one. Smokescreen, fake concept, intuition. It had it all there. Let's go to our next one now.
Yep. We're going to Columbus. We're going to look at a clip from Miami of Ohio, 2019, and can already hear people now. This is Miami of Ohio. Why are you showing Miami of Ohio? I think a lot of the knock on Zach Wilson is, hey, he played at a school that just didn't face a lot of competition. Why are you showing me a game Justin Fields won 76-5, whatever this game was? Because it's a good clip, because it shows a good part of Justin Fields' game. So not really much to say about the concept. Once again, I don't know how the reads work on this one, but all it is Justin Fields is going to read this. I think he's going to pick his side of the field. So we're going here. Austin Mack's running a vert. I believe this is Luke Farrell has a choice route. Benjamin Victor is going to come over the middle, who's a touchdown catch is going to happen to. KJ Hill is going to come over the middle. Dobbins is out here running the clear out. I'm going to let it play. And we're going to see Justin Fields show off his arm strength here. And right over the top of that middle third field safety, usually teams now are running a lot of three high safety looks, which is exactly what you see here. It's kind of a variation. I think they're in man coverage here on the backside, and on the front side, they're running Tampa 2, which is why this guy's trying to play kind of low and Victor gets behind him. But Justin Fields is late on this throw. This is a throw in the NFL. It's probably not going to work because windows close a little faster. But if you look at the time he releases this ball, he's hitching up. That ball's probably should be gone right now.
Yeah.
Like Victor's he's already got a step. This guy's hips are still facing Justin Fields. This ball is late. Okay, ball's out as Victor's at the 10-yard line. This is already to get to the end zone. He's got to launch at 37 yards. That throw is late, but it gets there and it's a touchdown. That's what I'm here to talk about. That's what I'm here to say. That arm strength, that ability to make up for a lack of timing. In the NFL, the window will be closer. In the NFL, he's probably not going to be able to wait this long after the throw should have been made. But there is room for error, is my point. Okay, this middle field player, this guy right here that Victor is going to run past, that ball should be out sooner, like I said. But that's just natural arm talent. That's just natural strength. That's a great catch by Benjamin Victor.
That is an unbelievable catch.
Yeah, that's a great catch, and I'm not going to discredit him. That he really makes this play. But Justin Fields' ability to get it there, to put it where it needs to be. This is good ball placement. This is really good ball placement. Okay. Is it an accurate ball? Jordan Reed has this conversation a lot on Twitter if you follow him. Accuracy versus ball placement. Is it an accurate ball? No, because it's really not on time. Is it well placed? Yes, absolutely. It's in a place where Benjamin Baker can use his frame. He's like 6'3", 6'4", can go up, use his body to get it. This guy doesn't really have a play. If he sticks his hand up earlier, maybe he does, but that's a what if world that we're not going to talk about. That's arm strength from Justin Fields. That's ability to, like I said, there's margin for error. There's a way that if that play is a half second late in the NFL, yeah, maybe it works. And here he's about a second and a half, 2 seconds late. But this is 2019 Justin Fields. I don't even think I've shown a 2020 clip of Justin Fields yet today. But this is baby Justin Fields, like we've described it. This is him still kind of learning the kinks of the offense. This is him still getting used to game speed. This is, I believe, the 4th game of 2019. He dominated this second quarter. He scored like 6 touchdowns, accounted for 6 touchdowns. It was ridiculous. But just a great throw. Great throw.
And here's what I like too, is that you are starting to see, as training camp has begun now, what everybody who is there has said. Unfortunately, we haven't been able to be there. I didn't get tickets. Their whole ticket process thing is stupid and whatnot. But everybody, all the reporters that are there, the people who are watching, say his velocity is noticeably better than that of Andy Dalton. And what is encouraging about that is we knew that, but to be seeing that. You'll look at college tape. You'll look at players in college, and you'll see all these things. Every player has great tools in college. They showed this. They showed that. Not as many players show that immediately the moment they get to the NFL. Not every player is showing all those tools that they were supposed to have in their first training camp in the NFL. So to see the things that we have talked about already in the draft process, things we have talked about in the first video, to see those things come to fruition in his first 2 days of training camp, and that it's noticeable enough for people to see the gap between the velocity of him and Andy Dalton. Yeah, Andy Dalton's an older player, but still, like, that's what you want to see from those first few days of training camp. See these things start to come to life instead of, again, in the past with not just quarterbacks, not just Mr. Trubisky. This is players at every position, the things that they were supposed to be. We're not seeing those things until year 3. We're not seeing those things until, after year 2, it takes longer, but he is, again, this is the common theme after the first clip as well. We're seeing this immediately, and to see it immediately is really encouraging. This throw, absolutely phenomenal, absolutely laser. But I do like how you mentioned, we have been talking about all the great and the good. It is I like how you mentioned he could have, waited, or he shouldn't have waited one more second. We kind of critiqued him there too. But like you said, to make up for that with his arm talent, I don't think many other quarterbacks in this situation could have made up for that with their arm power, given how late he was with that throw.
Good throw's a good throw, man. Whether it's against Miami of Ohio, Miami, Florida, Clemson, Alabama, doesn't matter. Good throw's a good throw, right? These are when we say tools. When we talk about tools, these are tools. This is arm strength. This is ball placement. This is be able to pinpoint where you're throwing the football. That's what we're looking at with Justin Fields.
Absolutely. Let's go to our next one.
Yes, sir. Let's go to Penn State 2020 game that Justin Fields was nearly perfect in once again. 2020, he started off 2020 so well. It was almost ridiculous the way he started Nebraska, like 20 for 20, and then Penn State almost the same way. But this is our first 2020 clip, actually. I just realized that. All of the other ones have been baby Justin Fields 2019. But this one is going to be a shot play to Chris Olave, who's here at the bottom of your screen right here. He's going to run an out and up, and Justin Fields is just going to pump and deliver a perfectly thrown football for a touchdown in between 3 defenders. Now, I'm not going to break this down because there's not much. The concept doesn't matter. This is Chris Olave being a really good receiver. This is Justin Fields having the time to throw. This is Justin Fields making the throw. Once again, I'm not going to talk about mechanics. I'm not going to talk about anything. This is a quarterback making the throw and a receiver making the catch. And at the end of the day, what more can you ask for? Now, he made a living off this. Chris Olave and Justin Fields both made a living off this, off of throwing outside the numbers, in between the numbers and the sideline. But this is just fantastic placement. This is just Justin Fields throwing a deep ball. And for that reason alone, Bears fans should be excited, because what's the one thing that has been missing from the offense for the last 3 years? That's a vertical passing attack.
Yep.
Justin Fields offers that from day one. Now, timing downfield and accuracy downfield obviously have to be a step ahead at the next level, right? Like this is Penn State, which is a good football team. It's not an NFL team. Still throws it in between three defenders. Um, he puts us all into this ball. I mean, this is about a 50-yard throw he throws this from just about the right hash at the 45-yard line, just about the 45-yard line.
Yeah.
Chris Olave is making this catch down at the 5 on the other side. So we do the math. That's about a 50-yard throw from the right hash to the left sideline. I don't know. I stopped taking math classes a while ago. It's probably like 60+ air yards, something on that. He's got a crazy arm. And in the realm of this class with guys like Trevor Lawrence and Trey Lance and Zach Wilson, they're all very close together, in my opinion, in arm talent. So Justin Fields doesn't get like the prop up that like a Justin Herbert got in 2020 or that like a Josh Allen got in 2018. But that's because Josh Allen was so far ahead of the Baker Mayfields and the Sam Darnolds and the Josh Rosens. So don't get fooled by this quarterback class being really good. This 2021 class was much better than 2018, in my opinion, even though a lot of those guys have had success like Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Baker Mayfield. I think this class is better. I think Justin Fields is a better player than a lot of those guys. The comp from Justin Fields to Josh Allen didn't really make sense to me. Josh Allen couldn't hit water from a boat in college. Justin Fields was the most accurate passer in college football for 2 years. So don't let that fool you. I'm not really a huge Dak Prescott comp guy either. I think Trey Lance was much more like Prescott than Justin Fields was. I do like the Russell Wilson comp. I think he's a bigger Russell Wilson. Now, is he going to be as Russell Wilson is one of the most productive QBs in the NFL. So I'm not going to say that that's his ceiling, or I think that is his ceiling, but I'm not going to say that's what he's going to be. But this is Justin Fields. Who throws the best deep ball in the NFL? It's Russell Wilson. It's either Russell or it's Pat Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, whatever you want to say. Russell Wilson has to be in that argument. Is Justin Fields in it? No, he's a rookie. But can he be? Does he have that talent? Does he have that potential? I mean, we're looking at this clip. Pump fakes, shoots his hips out to the left, gets the leg around, gets the hips around, delivers a perfectly thrown ball. That's a good catch by Olave. It's a fingertip catch, right? But that's a phenomenal catch and throw. And like I said, man, what have we been missing from the Bears offense for 3 years? 2018 and 2017 for that matter, before Mitch was really the guy. We had a great ground game. 2019 was kind of lacking. We couldn't push the ball downfield. 2020, it seemed like it was all missing until Bill Lazor kind of took over. But with Justin Fields, I don't really think you need to make that switch to Bill Lazor because I don't think that you lack that attention to the vertical passing game. So if there's nothing else, I hope he brings some shot plays to this team in 2021 when he gets his chance, because Lord knows we need some big plays.
Explosive plays, Kellen. Guess who the top 2 teams were in the NFL last year in explosive plays?
I'm guessing the Chiefs and the Buccaneers.
Exactly. Where do those 2 teams end up? Yeah, no surprise. They end up in the Super Bowl. Look at, I don't know. I would have to go down the list. I'm going to look at it after this now that you brought it up. I would imagine the Bills, the Packers were also most likely in the top 7 of explosive plays throughout the year. Those are 2 teams that also found themselves in the conference championship. So it just goes to show. And I'm looking here about Sharp football statistics. That guy, Warren Sharp, he does all of these. Yes. Warren Sharp, he does. I'm going to buy his book because his book is phenomenal. Sorry, free promo there for Warren Sharp. But I'm looking at the Bears' explosive pass rate here on the website by location. And I'm looking at the right side, 0% explosive pass rate on from the 10-yard line. From the 40-yard line, it's 4%. And from the 30-yard line, it's 9%. When you talked up, he said him and Chris Olave made a living at Ohio State outside the numbers in between the hash and the sideline. Well, that's partially what's been missing. And the other thing I wanted to highlight too, as it pertains to explosive plays is, explosive plays are made one of 2 ways. 1, it's throwing the ball deep. 2, it's allowing the receiver to do something after the catch. And even in this play right here, this 9, I don't say 9 times out of 10, 7 times out of 10, maybe isn't a touchdown, because this ball is just so perfectly thrown to a lead spot that his momentum drops Olave right into the end zone. If he throws that just half a foot shorter, Olave kind of catches it, maybe, falls to the ground right before the end zone, gets tripped up. You know what I mean? So why that's important is because explosive plays are made when you talk about having a guy in space. You give a guy a lead ball, now let him run a little bit. Explosive plays You add 10 yards to that. A play, think about Allen Robinson, man. Allen Robinson's career, and the notion around Allen Robinson is that he is a possession catch receiver. He catches the ball and he falls to the ground. Is he one of the best possession catch receivers in the NFL? Yes, but people don't think he has ability to run after the catch. He has the ability to turn 20-yard catches into 30, 40 yards. Well, maybe he hasn't really had the opportunity. Justin Fields is going to give him the opportunity, and that's going to do wonders for the Bears offense. And we have the statistics to prove that explosive plays are conducive to winning football. And
Yes.
the Buccaneers, the Chiefs, the Bills, the Packers, you have all evidence in the world.
Yes.
It's really not that complicated. You score more touchdowns, you throw you get larger completions, you're going to win games, right? I mean,
Yes.
it's not that deep.
Ryan Pace, if you get your eyes on this, I am begging you, if Chris Olave, for whatever reason, falls in the draft, we got to get him. We got to get him. Assuming Allen Robinson does come back. I know we're all excited about, Marquise Goodwin, Damiere Byrd, Daz Newsome. But I mean, Joe Burrow got Jamar Chase, Tua Tagovailoa got him, Jalen Waddle. This is important. You're reuniting guys that they're comfortable with. I don't think it's going to happen. I think Olave is going to go in the first. Obviously, Bears don't have a first round pick. But Ryan Pace, man, you surprised me last year. You had a really good 2021. Let's follow it up. If we can get Chris Olave, let's get him.
Listen, I'm going to make a prediction here. The Bears are going to trade Nick Foles, and they're going to use that pick and some others to trade in the first round to get Chris Olave next year. That's a prediction I'll make.
Let's do it, man. I'm with that.
All right, let's go to. I think we got two more now. Two more left, or one, two.
Well, maybe one more. I think. So, what a lot of people will remember about this play against Clemson in the Sugar Bowl is Trey Sermon's meme after he bounced off this tackler. I think the audio should be playing in the background. I'm muted, actually. What happens on this play is Trey Sermon bounces off this tackler and everyone thinks he scores a touchdown until it's reviewed, right? And that's what the meme becomes. The meme becomes Trey Sermon like looking at the camera, and it's all fun and games. And it was a big play, but it was a big play because it was a first down. And this play, I think, is the most underrated play of Justin Fields' entire career. And why do I say that? Well, I'm going to add some context. All right. People, and I wrote this in my blog post on Justin Fields, which you all should go and read. All right. Kevin will plug that in post-production, sure. But I put this in here. The drive before this, so Ohio State dominates Clemson the first half, 35-14. They get the ball to start second half. They go down. We got a big play to Olave over the middle. We're in the red zone. Justin Fields' arm gets hit as he throws. And instead of going up 42-14 in this game, and you take all the momentum, that ball gets picked off in the end zone on an errant throw because his arm gets hit. Clemson goes down and scores very quickly. Now they're only down 14 in the middle of the third quarter. Ohio State, you can see they're backed up 1st and 10 inside their own 10. The kickoff goes bad. Ohio State has to recover inside their own 10-yard line. They have a couple of negative plays or one negative play and then a small gain to get it back, I think. We're 3rd and 10 inside our own 10. If Ohio State does not convert this, Clemson's getting the ball back around their own 40 or midfield. Excellent field position. Trevor Lawrence has got the momentum. Clemson, if they score, they're only down a touchdown. They've got it all. Ohio State has to convert this play. Now, obviously, Justin Fields dumps it down to Trey Sermon. Trey Sermon is the one that really makes the play. But if we look at it from this all-22 view, when we look at it from this all-22 view here, what's going to happen is this is Chris Olave right here. And this is Darian Kendrick, who he made his son in this game. Little plug for you there. This is called a dagger concept. All right. Chris Olave is going to run a dig over the middle. He's going to get to the sticks about 11, 12 yards, run a dig over the middle. Jamison Williams is going to be the clear out here. And what Justin Fields is going to do basically is he's going to try and deliver this ball right over here. Garrett Wilson is going to come over the middle. I believe Farrell's running the whip out here. Now, Clemson's in quarters coverage, and I believe this is Andrew Booth down here. He's going to drop back, and the safeties are going to rotate this way. Darian Kendrick is going to tag Chris Olave and then sink back, basically. So what Justin Fields has to do is he has to wait until this guy is cleared by Chris Olave on this dig route. All right, let me clear it so I can simplify it. This is what's important. This concept is dagger concept, and this defender. So once Chris Olave gets cleared, Justin Fields stands in. The plan is to deliver the ball. But what happens is that same middle field defender here is sitting right in the throwing lane, identified as Chris Olave, and it's kind of blurry. I'm sorry about that. But he's sitting right here where Chris Olave is at. Jameson Williams is not open. He's bracketed by two guys. Garrett Wilson, he's not really breaking free. Andrew Booth, who's going to be one of the top cornerbacks drafted in the next class, is fantastic at tracking the ball. Not going to throw that. No one else is open. Trey Sermon's blocking. So what does Justin Fields do? Trey Sermon leaks out into the flat. No one's there. If Darian Kendrick, who's this corner here, is syncing with Chris Olave and staying back here, and this defender here is also with Chris Olave, that means there's no one in the flat. At least that's my thought process, what I think he's going through in his head. So this is after Justin Fields broke his ribs basically as well, steps into the pocket and delivers to Trey Sermon. Now, Kellen, why is this the most underrated play in his career? All up to this point, this is after Zach Wilson had this fantastic showing against UCF in the bowl game. Everyone's like, Zach Wilson is QB2 now. And Justin Fields, after he just threw a pick, after Clemson has the momentum, if they make this stop, the game is really in their hands, dumps it down. Now, this guy who can't read defenses, this guy who's a one-read quarterback, goes through this half field of progressions, understands the throw is not there, doesn't force it, takes the broken ribs, steps up in the pocket, sidearm delivers to Trey Sermon in the flat. Now, Trey Sermon was a really good running back. I think a lot of running backs get this first down because he delivers it to him in space. He delivers it to him in time. Justin Fields isn't waiting for something downfield to deliver. He's not waiting for anything bigger. Chris Olave is not open. Jameson Williams isn't open. Let's get the ball out. And that's what happens. Like I said, this play kind of became a meme because Trey Sermon bounced off this guy and ran to the house, and it was called a touchdown on the field and reviewed. But this just shows, once again, I think we've highlighted the talent, we've highlighted the tools, and we've wanted to highlight as much as these ridiculous notions about him not being able to progress defenses. I mean, this is getting all the way down to his fifth read. Now, these are most likely pre-snap reads. These are most likely things that you're going to understand. This guy is lined up in a certain spot, I'm going to throw it. But that's not the case. This linebacker is right here. Andrew Booth is on this tight end, so Justin Fields knows where to go with the ball, but it's covered up. So what does he do? He checks it down. Once again, I understand someone might look at that and be like, it's just a check down. That play is made by Trey Sermon. Absolutely, I understand. But there is context with this play that comes at this was the biggest play of the game so far. If Clemson gets a stop, they get the ball and all the momentum and they score. It becomes a one possession game. But this, we all know what happens after this. I don't have to show it. Justin Fields releases a 64-yard touchdown to Chris Olave. I don't have to show that one. That happened on this drive, like I think 2 or 3 plays after this. It's one of those forgotten moments that I think I'm glad we're doing this breakdown because we can point this out. This is just such a fantastic job of remaining calm, understanding the situation. Like, don't make the moment bigger than what it is, but I have to get this first down. I don't have to make this throw to Chris Olave. I don't have to force it to Jameson Williams. I don't have to force it to Garrett Wilson. I just have to get a first down. I'll let my guys do that. Same thing we saw with Austin Mack earlier. Let my guy make a play in space. Same idea here. Make a guy make a play in space. And just like in the Michigan game, he was hurt. And just like in the Michigan game, it was against a fierce opponent that they absolutely hate, Michigan and Clemson. And this is, like I said, Justin Fields' most underrated play of his whole entire Ohio State career.
And in your sports career, I'm sure you've heard the phrase, don't do too much.
Yep.
Don't do too much. Just do what you're supposed to do and have trust in your teammates around you. I'm a baseball player. In baseball, if you're a pitcher, right, you don't have to throw 95, 96 miles per hour and blow up by the hitter every time. What are you supposed to do? Throw strikes and let your defense make a play. The reason why I made that sort of analogy there is because this is just Justin Fields trusting in a player. He's saying, you know what? I'm not going to do it myself here. I'm not going to sit here and say, you know what? This is all me. I need to try to force it into Chris Olave. I need to make a play. This is my game. I'm the quarterback at Ohio State. This is the semifinal. Me. I'm going to go make a play because this is my game and it's going to be in my hands. Instead, he says, you know what? Yes, is there a lot of space? There's a lot of space for Trey Sermon here, but he still has trust in him to make this play in the most important, critical moment of the game. Colin, they lose this game if he doesn't get that first down. I truly believe that. I mean, you alluded to the momentum shift. They lose this game if they don't get this particular play.
Right there with you.
Sit back, just say, don't do too much. Have trust in your players. let him make a play. I mean, and and how it relates to the Bears too is because in the past, people will show you countless videos of guys open underneath, Tariq Cohen open, down below, Cole Kmet open, receivers open underneath, but Mitch Trubisky, again, not to bag on Mitch, forcing a throw, trying to do too much when guys
Yeah.
are open underneath, right? I
Yeah.
mean, we've seen it so many times. So to see that, to understand, okay, it's the perfect mix, Colin, because what we talked about in the first episode too was when he was forcing some of those throws into tight windows, and we were highlighting his accuracy there. I said, you know what, people are going to look at that and say, well, he's forcing too much. Is it a great throw? Yes. Is he forcing too much? People might see it that way. You have the perfect mix of clips where he is forcing it in the right situations, going for the bigger play, and sitting back, not trying to force it, and having trust in his players. So, I love, this is my favorite clip that you've shown. I mean, this is my favorite one because of the context, because of the patience, and it debunks every single theory that Chris Sims and those of the world have been saying. So that's good stuff right there, man. That's good stuff. Do you have anything else to add about this one?
No, man. Just like I said, that context is important. Ohio State went up 16-0 against Clemson the year before in the playoff, and Clemson came back and won. Right. All it takes is one play in football. All it takes is one drive. All it takes is one mistake. And Justin Fields made that mistake. That he threw a pick the drive before this, and it led to a touchdown. All right. Yes, it's a 14-point game. Yes, Ohio State still has the lead. But I think I agree with you, Kevin. I think they lose the game if this first down is not made. Is it going to be close? Does Ohio State make it close? Maybe they pull it out. Yes, absolutely. But this game does not end in the dominant fashion that we remember it in if this first down is not made. Maybe Clemson doesn't go down to score. Ohio State defense makes a stop. It's still 35-21. But the way we remember this game is Justin Fields 6 touchdowns and beating Clemson by four touchdowns. If he doesn't make this dump off to Trey Sermon, if he doesn't go through this progression correctly and throw that ball to Trey Sermon, that does not happen. We do not remember the game in the way we remember it. That's what I want people to remember.
Absolutely. And the one more thing too before we head out, it's kind of a good transition, is Justin, you talked about, he made an interception before this. What he doesn't do very frequently is make mistakes twice in a row. And that's a rare quality in players at any level in any sport, is consistency and rebounding from your mistakes and not making those same mistakes. The reason why I say it's a good transition to our next video is, there are games where he has made back-to-back mistakes, Indiana, Northwestern, and that's what we're going to highlight. We're going to break that down, but it doesn't happen often. And typically if it is an error, like an interception, he comes back with, a big time play, and to have that mentality to not let the turnovers bring you down is, I'm sure, Kellen, as you know, as a quarterback, that it's a tough thing to do. When you make an error in baseball, when you throw an interception, when you turn over the ball in basketball, it's difficult to just, sit your ass down on the bench for a little bit, come back up and rebound. You know what I mean? From a mental aspect, he has that mental capacity, right?
Yep. You got to be able to. Quarterback is the most mentally demanding sport in all of sports, in my opinion. And when you make a mistake, you've got to be able to get over it. All right. Next play mentality, right? Like, that's what we always got to have. Guys who don't have that, guys who just can't get over that, they don't make it in the league. They don't make it anywhere. I think that's what we're looking at. A guy, Justin Fields, has that next play mentality, even on big plays, right? Like, no matter you get a big play, you get a small play, you get a turnover, something bad happens, we're on to the next one, no matter what. And I think we've got a guy that does that.
Absolutely. KG Draft Log. Check it out. We're going to plug the link in the description here, the YouTube. Make sure you're subscribed to stay on top of that. Also, check out the Draft Bible. That's where Kellen works as well. Check out Bears Nation Podcast, all platforms. We're going to be back next week with a breakdown of Indiana, Northwestern, Justin Fields' 2 worst games of his collegiate career, see what went wrong there, and dissect that more. But Kellen, round of applause again. You are the man.
Appreciate it, my boy.
I don't know. Great analysis, great stuff. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, click that subscribe button below, and we will see you all next week for Justin Fields Film Room Part 3. Take care, y'all.
Yes, sir.